this is gonna be hard because we didn't get much. She's childless. She's cooperative. Um, is she friendly? I have no idea. I didn't get that from her personality though. It wasn't really. Well, you know what? No, I'm gonna say no because she's had two. She's got the guy who lived out of state, and then the ex-boyfriend who's supposed to move to Atlanta with her. But there's no one in between that. No, she's not friendly. I have a hard time believing that. So, yeah, cooperative and childless. I don't. Something else has to give in there, and it's almost like there's a lot of mental things going on here because she mentioned she's an overthinker and she's petty, which means that she's constantly thinking about ways to get back at you if you're doing something that she doesn't like. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting tired. I know we had a lot of issues tonight with Wi-Fi. Um, let's see what this is. Hello?
Hey, Kendra.
Hi, sweetheart. What's your name? Is it Brittany?
Yes,
Brittany, where you calling me from, boo?
I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. Brittany. What you do for a living?
I am a PSE for the post office.
Post office. Okay. You have any kids?
No kids.
No kids.
I was actually here before. I was back here in October. I was actually in Michigan at the time.
All right. So what's your update?
So after the show, most of the men out of the country contacted me, of course. I was talking to a gentleman, I think he was from Texas. He was one of the only guys that was like not out of the country. Um, I don't know. Kind of crazy, bipolar.
Did
So
y'all meet
we
in person or y'all just talked?
just talked on the phone.
Okay.
So we were so we were talking off and on. We actually just stopped talking maybe about a month ago.
Okay.
Cause like he's a liar. And he actually conned me.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take that L. I don't want to really go
Conned
deep
you.
into it, but you do gotta.
How you get conned in a phone conversation with a guy who lives out of state? Is this one of those situations where we need to ask who vetted that man for you? Let's keep going because this should be interesting.
A scammer on your hands. So
Well, you gave him money?
yeah, so basically we was talking. So he was talking like, oh yeah, I'm ready for a relationship. I want a woman, this, that, and the third. Then I was telling him like I was trying to move, and he was like, how much your security deposit gonna be? And I'm just like, oh, I got that. I can handle that. So he was like, well, how much is it? So I was like, so I just threw out an amount. I was like, well, 1,500. So maybe a week later, he said he was in South Carolina or something like that, and he said that what did he tell me? He was at an auction, I think, or something. So he was saying that he lost his wallet, and so he said all the notifications were coming to his phone. But I guess somebody had used his cards or something. So he was like, he needed $64 for gas. And then he would send it, back. He was like, it's nothing to me. I'll send you that 1,500, this, that, and the third. I wasn't really tripping on the 1,500, but $64, whatever. Well, never got that back.
You sent him 1,500 too?
Huh?
You sent him 1,500?
Oh no, baby, no, $64 for gas.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
That wasn't. So what happened after that?
This woman is she's trying to make herself look like the victim. Because $1,500, that had nothing to do with anything. You could have started the story off with, well, yeah, he was in South Carolina and he lost his wallet, and he asked me for some gas money, so I sent it to him. What did that have to do with? Oh boy.
So after that, he just went blank. It just like went blank for like maybe 2 days. So then 2 days later, he called and he was like, he was in a hospital. He showed me a wrist bracelet. I didn't at that point. I didn't believe it. I was like, you just scammed me out of $64, but it's fine, whatever. I take the L. So he wanted me to send 30 more. Talking about the fit, I guess, because when you don't Cash App, they take money out when you do like a automatic deposit. So, but at that point, I just sent you $64. I'm not about to send you another $30. Like, no, I'm like, oh, I don't have it. So
I feel you. Okay, $64. At least $64. Someone said that was a test. Okay, good. I'm happy.
Yeah, it was a test, but here's the thing though. This is what you sign up for when you're talking to a guy long distance. Because I'm not even sure if I consider that you getting scammed. Because if you got, let's say this dude is coming to see you, or like with long distance relationships, you're going to spend way more than that just maintaining a relationship. Like, you're going to try and go see each other, right? She says she's in Atlanta and he's in wherever. Even if he's in South Carolina, you're going to burn more than $60 worth of gas just going to see each other. So this is why long distance doesn't work when you're talking about long-term commitment. One of y'all need to, well, look, we ain't got there yet. This lady ain't told us nothing about herself except that, let's just keep going.
Happy you didn't go for the next round. I'm happy you passed the second test.
yeah, so I mean, the first time I should have known. I just thought like we had been talking since October last year. So I'm like, okay, it's $64. You know, we've been talking. Cool, whatever. So, but I'm just like, I should have known. But I was in the midst of it. I was doing so many things at one time. So I just was like, okay, I'm gonna send it in good faith.
You've been talking to this guy for that long and y'all haven't met up face to face? Like she says, since October. How? So clearly he wasn't taking it serious and neither were you. Well, why are you still talking to the guy then? Like, what does her options look like locally that she is in? I'm going to call it a relationship because what else would you call it? Y'all been talking for that long, right? What do her options look like locally that you hung up on the guy who lives out of state and y'all haven't seen each other physically yet? And it's been months. So this says a lot about, or it doesn't say enough about what she's like as a person, because, or what she's like in person, because her last relationship is some guy who she's never met face to face, but they've been talking since. Okay, let's keep going.
Whatever, but that's a lesson learned. So
Lesson
it is
learned.
what it
Okay.
is.
All right. Lesson learned. Let's continue. So, Brittany, how old are you?
I'm 34. I'm sorry, 35. Just turned 35 in May.
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Taurus.
Taurus. What's your birthday?
May the 17th, 10 days after yours.
Oh, okay. Do you have any kids? No kids, right?
Okay, no.
And you work at the post office?
Yes.
So, Brittany, Atlanta, Georgia, post office, no kids, 35, Taurus. What kind of man you looking for, baby?
So I got a list because you got to make a list because as soon as I seen your beautiful face on the screen, I forgot everything I was going to say. So we got to be consistent, easy on the eyes. Wearing colognes is a must. Got to be romantic. Loves to travel. Want to be monogamous. And he and his parents must be born and raised in the United States.
Your mama gotta be from America. Your daddy gotta be from America, and your ass gotta be born in America. Ooh, child.
Yes.
Okay. What are your deal breakers other than that?
So deal breakers, can't have more than 2 kids, and if he does have kids, they have to be 13 or older. And I know a lot of men are into the truck driving industry. I know it's very lucrative. So if he does, that is his field, he has. I know it's kind of specific, but
Okay.
Wait,
Okay.
what?
Does he have to look a certain way?
Hold on, what did she say?
And if he does have kids, they have to be 13 or older. Um, and I know a lot of men are into the truck driving industry. I know it's very lucrative.
Okay, that's not my internet. That's hers.
So if he does, if that is his field, he has. I know it's kind of specific, but
Okay. Okay. Does he have to look a certain way?
um, no,
No.
no,
Does
not
he have to make
really.
a certain amount of money?
No. But I can only go 50-50
No.
on love. We got to go 60-40 on the bills, with him being 60 and me being 40.
So he does have to make a certain amount of money
Okay.
then.
I never heard it that way before. 50-50 on love, 60-40 on bills. Okay. Let's do the Kendra Cam, Brittany.
Believe it or not, we can actually calculate that and figure out how much money the guy needs to make, right? So what we need is, well, I'll let her go ahead and do the Kendra Cam, and then I'll come back. Well, I'm gonna look up something real quick.
All right. So I just moved, so my place is not like tip top. Let me see. I don't know if you can see me or not. It's kind of dark in here.
Okay. We can see you, honey. All right, boo. Okay. Brittany. Brittany, when was your last relationship, baby?
My last relationship was 2 years ago.
Okay, you don't got to answer, but I'm going to ask. The last time you was intimate with someone?
It was actually 4 weeks ago, the 24th of June, with my ex, Sam.
Your ex? Why is he your ex?
Well, we were on two different pages. We wanted two separate things. And then some things have come to the light to me within a few days. So we weren't moving forward. We were just where we were at. Like, he wants me to change everything about myself, but he thinks the only thing he has to do is become more affectionate. And it's way beyond that.
So you want to be in a relationship with him or you don't want to be one?
I don't.
Oh, okay. So you're just having fun with physical with him?
Well, before.
Okay, real quick, I'm gonna show you guys how I got this number here because I figured out how much the guy needs to make, and yeah, okay. So what we did here is I found the average household income in the city of Atlanta, 118,000, right? Median income is 69,000, but remember what she said, 60-40 split, right? So all we do is take 118,000, and then we multiply it by 60%. She's looking for a guy making 70. And so she's looking for an above average earner. Well, the median household income sits at 69 per year. Wait a minute. Household income, the average median household income is 69. Yeah. Residents aged 25 to 44 earn 82,000. While those between 45 and 64 have a median wage of 73. So what's really going on here is because, again, she's 35, right? So depending on what age range she's looking for, she's looking for an above average earner. Yeah, because the average income in Atlanta is not 70. It's a little bit lower than that. Let's see. Yeah, see, average salary in Atlanta, Georgia is 58. So you real close to 60, and you know it can get and this depends on what source you're using. Some sources will say 50, some will say 55. So it's right in that age range. So she's looking for an above average earner. Now the question then becomes is how is she going to balance that out? So far, well, let's keep going because
The 4 weeks ago, we hadn't talked since I left, which was October. Because when I left in October, we got into it. I blocked him, and I didn't talk to him until June 23rd. So
you blocked him for months so you could
So yet another example of a woman who you have to worry about her ex coming around if you're going to be with her.
sleep whatever you wanted to sleep with and then just come back around to you months later.
No. I blocked him, and I was hoping he would kind of wise up, because when Georgia was actually a plan for us. We were supposed to come. He was supposed to come to Georgia first, and then I was supposed to follow. But I guess I took Georgia as a sign, because I was trying to be a PSC in Michigan, but it didn't go through. So I was like, well, let me take a shot in Georgia. So I got in down here, and then I was thinking maybe he would be like, okay, well, she's already there. She's already making progress. Let me get on my shit and get down there. Didn't happen that way. So
now you're just having sex with him just because you just want to have sex.
well, it was just that one time. So that was like a closure thing. That was just like, is there something there? No. So
Men don't care about that.
Okay.
We don't care about closure.
All right. So, what are 3 flaws you think you have to work on?
So I'm an overthinker. And I hate to admit it, but I am tick for tat.
Petty.
And then I'm never on time for anything. So if something starts at 5:00, you better tell me 4:00 so I can be there by 5:30.
Why can't you just be on time?
Time.
Because she's selfish. And what she's doing is always more important than what other people have going on. Overthinker and petty and always late.
Just never. Time is just never on my side. Never. I don't know why. Like, I can never, no matter how hard I try, I can never be on time.
Translation is that you may as well go ahead and always late is a procrastinator. That's what that is. And it covers it goes right up there with being what do you call it? No, I can't think about it. I can't even think about it. But it wouldn't surprise me if she was also impatient. Let's keep going.
I was like, oh, okay, I got this, I got this down. Like, I can do this and I can do this, and just it never works.
Okay. And why would a guy be lucky to be with you?
Well, I can pump my own gas. I can check my own oil. But no, I'm real cool to hang around. I've learned men like the same thing women do as far as like compliments, dates, affection, all that good thing. So whatever you make me happy, and I'm gonna make you happier.
Make you happy, I'll make you happier. Okay. So this is Brittany, Atlanta, works at the post office, no kids. 35 is the tourist. What's the age range you want the guy to be?
32 to 40.
32 to 40. All right, Brittany. Let's do it. How can the guy reach out to you?
So that is my Facebook down there, but my name is so common. So I did start an Instagram in your honor.
Aww.
So it is I_am_Brittany Lashay. That's BrittneyLashay. Again, that's I_am_Brittany Lashay.
Yeah, next time I want you to always have it written out, because that's the easiest.
Oh, yeah, at the bottom. Yeah, okay.
And her Instagram is
all
set
right,
to
well, this
private.
is our second time, so I hope it works well for you this time, honey.
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to be hard because we didn't get much. She's childless. She's cooperative. Is she friendly? I have no idea. I didn't get that from her personality, though. It wasn't really. Well, you know what? No, I'm gonna say no, because she's got the guy who lived out of state, and then the ex-boyfriend who who's supposed to move to Atlanta with her. But there's no one in between that. No, she's not friendly. I have a hard time believing that. So, yeah, cooperative and childless. Something else has to give in there. And it's almost like, there's a lot of mental things going on here because she mentioned she's an overthinker and she's petty, which means that she's constantly thinking about ways to get back at you if you're doing something that she doesn't like. Yeah. No, I don't think she's marriageable. Um, 35. That's going to be tough. Okay. Well, we gonna. I think this is it for tonight, though, right? Cause, whoa, this woman stayed on here. Hold on, maybe we missed something.
Yes. Hopefully you make me a highlight.
So what?
I said, hopefully I'm a highlight.
You're gonna be a highlight, but they're gonna talk about your child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wasn't even gonna do the YouTube show because the YouTube comments is brutal, but I can't even see the comments, so
Well, the
maybe
highlight goes
that's
everywhere.
yeah.
I was gonna deep dive with you more, but I'm actually exhausted at this moment because I think women just don't understand the power of having sex with men when you are not getting what you want. And I know you said you want a year closure sex. You should have closed it. Like the way it should have worked is when he came back months later, you should already have a new boo. I know people want to call Lori Harvey a hoe. I don't agree with Lori Harvey being a hoe. I agree with Lori Harvey keeps it moving. Like, oh, we can't agree? Cool. I got another man who's on it. You're supposed to not be available a year later when your ex comes back around because that shows him that, oh, I had a chance. I lost my chance. She got somebody else. When you are available a year later, he now knows like, oh, shoot, I was able to be away for a year. She ain't got no other options. Let me slide back in. So,
Most guys don't think about it like that. Most guys just think, you know what? Let me hit her up, see what she's up to. Maybe it's a chance we can get something else going. It's not necessarily that, well, she ain't got no options. Because that's untrue. Most women have options. They're not the options that they want or that they're used to or that they want to pursue, but they still have options. To think that that the woman just flat out has no options, that's not realistic.
makes sense.
I mean, like, y'all gotta start thinking how men think. So no, you thinking you blocked. I heard this a couple times tonight. Well, I blocked him. I ain't talked to him for 9 months. All you did was give him a 9-month pass to do whatever the hell he wanted to do, and you can't say nothing because you blocked him. So even if you want to get upset, you can't get upset because you blocked him. But why did you block him? You let him come back 9 months later. Like this is a win-win. These men are running game circles around these women, and y'all not getting it. Y'all not getting it. And I say this all the time. This is only if you want a relationship. Because there are women who do not want relationships. And power to you women. Because they out here playing the game with the guys too. But I feel sorry for my women who say they genuinely want relationships and they are not playing this game right. I'm actually gonna write a book, but it's gonna be years. It's be like 2 more years. But there's a book right now that I recommend.
No.
It's called Power to the Pussy. Okay, power. I don't like saying the PUSSY word, but every woman get this. An old book, Power of the PUSSY. I forget the author, and she tells you the game and how men play this game and how y'all are not playing this game right. And now it's mayhem. This book was written years ago. Now we're living in an arena where we got social media, men hopping on planes, having conversation for a month and having sex. Like it's madness. So power to the pussy. I want women to read that book to learn some of the things that you're doing wrong if your goal is a relationship.
Yeah. You know what? That actually makes sense. I didn't think of it that way.
I know a lot of women don't think of it that way. I wish if I got a lot of good guy friends, like guy friends.
I bet she does have a lot of guy friends. Oh man, there's so many things that are wrong with what the stuff she just says. I'm trying to let her finish it so we can come back and we can actually break down the things she's saying.
Brothers, cousins, and they put me on to game fast. I have been where you have been several times in my life, so this is not really judgment. I just am like, I want to share. I gotta share because this was. I love you though. I love you though. Get that book,
I
okay?
love you too.
No,
Thank you
All
don't.
right.
so
No,
much, Kendra.
Bye, baby.
no, don't share. What this woman needs to do is go back to the man who is the patriarch in her family and start asking him for help with vetting the guys, because clearly she makes bad choices when it comes to mate selection. That's what the vast majority of women need to do. A lot of times I talk about the fact that the vetting process is broken in our community, and this is a prime example of that. You got these guys running around here, and you say you want commitment, but then who, where are the men who are willing to offer you that? Because a lot of what we saw tonight was women who are engaged in, in situationships or casual sex with men who are not looking for commitment. Where is the patriarch of your family, and why are you not using them to vet these guys for you? We got the tools available. We just don't want to use them for whatever reason. Actually, I know the reason. It's because we've been raised to be soldiers in the gender war. So we don't trust the men in our family, or the women for that matter either. The author of that book is a stay-at-home mom. Does that mean anything? I can't really say whether it is or whether it does or does not mean anything. I'm more concerned about the fact that, again, I think that here's the thing. Women can rely on a book to give them relationship advice all they want to, but that's not going to move the needle as far as building a family and ultimately building a community. So this is why I say we need to start using the tools that we have available to us. That's why I harp so much about the vetting process being broken and trusting your family members. Because again, that the book, they may read that and they may get some insight, but it still doesn't solve the factor of you were raised to be a soldier in the gender war and not trust the opposite gender. So in a lot of ways, books like that, they'll give you a quick solution, but it's not the best solution. Because ultimately, we need more families. And that the book is not going to help create family structure. Yeah, it'll give you some insight to how guys think or how women think if it's another book that's written for guys. But ultimately, it doesn't help break down those walls of mistrust that have been built throughout your lifetime or throughout your childhood. See, that's the real issue there, is that we've got to do a better job of raising our kids to work in cooperation with one another, and a book is not going to address that. That's why I say, you should be going to the patriarch. Ladies, you should be addressing the patriarch in your family to help you to rebuild that bond so that you can start trusting men again. Because I've had this. It was another video where a lady was talking about she's just not going to blindly follow a man, and my thing is that okay, then that tells me that you don't have a relationship with your father, because your father would have been the first man that you follow blindly, right? So that relationship there is supposed to prepare you for the one that you're going to maintain with your husband. But if that relationship's not there, then we have a problem. So that's why I say I can't, whether the author is a stay-at-home mom or not. That isn't really. That book may be fantastic, but again, is it going to address the mistrust that we're raising our kids with? Probably not. So this is why the importance of two-parent households become important, and this is also why the vetting process is important, and it's also why those two topics lead to the concept of marriage. In our community, we have a poor understanding of how the different varieties of marriages that can work. This is why we need more married people making content, so we get more examples of working relationships. Because ultimately, even if the stars align and all this other stuff, and we do raise the marriage rates, if we don't have more examples of working marriages, it won't matter. This is why the divorce rate is running rampant in our community. Even though we are the least married, we have one of the highest divorce rates. Why? Because we're so focused on maybe three different versions of marriage. We've got the blinders on that we can't see anything working outside of those examples, right? And if our marriages, if our relationship is not like these three examples, well, this is too hard. It shouldn't be this tough. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. That's usually when that stuff comes up. This is why I say we need more married people making content so you get more examples. This is also why I feature married couples who have YouTube channels and they don't talk about relationships. The whole point is that, hey, this is a married couple who's the one that comes to mind is sometimes I'll highlight reaction channels. That's why, so that you guys get examples of married couples who are actually having fun. Because believe it or not, that's something that we lack in our community. Because most married people are just off in their own little world, and they only tend to hang out with married people. So if you're single and you want to get married someday, it's kind of hard to find examples of it. But I digress. This has been another great show. Thanks to my moderator, Chris. Shout out to you, sir. And whether you agree with my assessment of these women being marriageable or not, that's totally up to you. Like I said, this is not specific to you as the single audience member. This is about men in general. That's why we use the 6 categories: fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, childless. It's up to you as a marriage-minded man to come up with the 3 categories that are most important to you. And then that's what the woman who has those categories, that's what you should be looking for. The whole point of this show is to show you that there are women out here who possess at least 3 categories, right? But outside of that, guys, remember, channel membership is open. We got some uploads coming exclusively for members only. Should be it probably starts tomorrow, but definitely there will be multiple videos up for this weekend. But Chris says, yes, sir. Great show. Your numbers are growing. Congratulations. I appreciate it, Chris. We are growing. Guys, continue to get the word out. And remember, like the video if you haven't, on your way out. Almost it goes to the next time. Peace.